What's up, everybody? It's your girl Barbie J here with the recap and review of Tyler Perry's White House comedy drama, The Oval, Season 6, Episode 1, No Escape. I don't know who was trying to escape. It looked like everybody was staying there. It didn't look like nobody was trying to get out, so I don't understand that title whatsoever. I wasn't crazy about the episode, although there were scenes that I thought was funny. There were a few scenes with them fighting with each other, Victoria and Simone, and Priscilla and Victoria, and Bobby and Sam. You know, everybody going back and forth. Kyle with Alan and Hunt. I was just like, this is too much for me. So anyway, before we get started, Happy New Year to all of you all watching this video. It's my first video of the year for the Oval. Okay, so Happy New Year. And thank you for being subscribers of mine and supporting my channel. And with that being said, if you're new here or if you're returning here and have not subscribed to my channel as of yet, please take a moment right now. Hit that like button and then hit the notification bell and select all. It'll let you know every time I upload any new content to this channel. Then I ask that you hit the like button, which is the thumbs up button. Write a comment and join our conversation and share because sharing is caring. Now, this episode starts off with you see Hunter being rolled down the hallway in the wheelchair into his bedroom, and Jason's in there chilling or something, and they roll Hunter in, and you see blood on him, but it's blood from the mercenaries that he had, and Agent Isaac is checking Hunter to make sure he's okay and tell him we got to get him checked out. He said, I'm fine, just get those men taken care of, take them downstairs, and Jason's like, yo, that was the most badass thing I ever seen you do since being in this position as the president. You know, he's so in awe of his father having this shootout. And I was like, okay, Jason is cray cray. We all know that. And Hunter was feeling so proud that his son thought what he did was badass. You know what I mean? So anyway, so next we have this scene with everybody else from the White House. You know, walking up there with guns drawn and stuff, you know, trying to find out if Hunter and his men are still around. And of course, arguments and disagreements break out. We got stupid Eli running over to Victoria to see if she's okay first before he runs over to his wife. And then when he goes over to Simone, she's like, are you freaking kidding? You ran over to her first? You ran over to her first? And they're like, ladies, we can't do this. And it's like, right, we got a situation going on here. And Priscilla said, yes, that's right. And then Victoria said something to her. And she said, let me tell you something. If I was you, I'd shut the hell up. She said, you're not the first lady anymore. Simone is. And Victoria jumped up from her seat like she was going to do something. And Priscilla stepped up to her. And they was like, stop it. And then Richard pulled Priscilla away and stuff. And I don't know who took Victoria. I was like, oh my God. And then we got Eli. He's a bumbling fool. He didn't know what to do. He didn't know what was next. He froze. He was so discombobulated. He didn't know what to do. And they're like, how's he going, if this frazzled him, how is he going to run the country? You know, so they finally got him to go down to the Oval, and Victoria's trying to go too, but Donald stopped her talking about, we need to call your father. She said, that's what I wanted to do, but Eli stopped me from doing it. And it's so funny because they're very concerned about keeping it out of the news and not letting reporters know about this. That happened. They got to get it contained. They shut off their phones. Sam did a good job and shut down everybody so that they can't make outgoing calls or anything or receive any. So now we up there with Hunter and them, and they're realizing they're cut off and they can't make outgoing calls. They could cut it off by floor or something. I guess they put that signal or whatever thing that they could do. So they can't make outgoing calls, and they want the news people to get up there. Hunter wants them to find out so that he can get put out as the president. So he's telling Agent Isaac how good Jason is with knowing the ins and out of the White House. He could get through all these different areas without anybody knowing, better than the Secret Service. You know, he could get somebody up here reporting stuff. And Agent Isaac is like, I don't think that's a good idea to send him. He said, I wasn't sending him, I was sending you. He said, but I think I should stay with you too. He said, then find one of your other men to go. But Jason is feeling some kind of way. He doesn't want to tell about the paths that he take. And he's like, Dad, there's certain things. He's talking to him in private now, saying there's certain things, how I got hit in there. I don't want people to know and all this stuff. And I'm sitting there going, the crazy Jason have bodies up in there somewhere in that pathway, y'all. I just can't believe that he would have a body there. So put it down in the comment section what you think Jason is talking about, that he's concerned about anybody seeing along the path, his hidden paths in there. Because yes, he did kill some people that we know of, but as far as I know, his parents got rid of them. But so now Jason agrees to do it because Hunter told him, if they get me out of this White House, you're going to be left here with your mother. Is that what you want? Jason's like, oh, no, no way. So now we have Victoria and Simone and Eli in the Oval. And the two ladies are going back and forth at each other, arguing. And Eli's like, can you stop it? Can both of you just stop it? I can't think with y'all two arguing. And I'm like, homeboy, you caused this. When you decided to step out on your marriage and have an affair, you caused this issue. So stop with all of that. So then Victoria gets up and sits next to Eli, and she said, did you see how Donald was handling everything out there? Maybe you should let him take the lead. He's like, why, you don't think I could do it? She's like, no, I know you can do it, but he's been working with Hunter a long time, so he knows how he thinks. So she made it seem like real smooth and stuff, when everybody knows he was a bumbling fool. He didn't know what to do. So Eli decides he's going to go to see Donald. So he leaves out of the Oval and he leaves those two alone. And Victoria is saying, as president, he should have had Donald come to him. It makes him look so weak. And then she starts in again on Simone being a pain in the butt. And Simone finally takes this moment to put Victoria in check or in her place, and then lets her know that she saw Jason up there and she better hope that he doesn't talk. And so Victoria started being messy again and trying to say nasty things to Simone. And it didn't bother Simone, even though Victoria thought she hit a nerve. So now a frazzled Eli makes it down to Donald's office. Donald says, look, let's get you a drink. He's like, I'm not okay. I don't need a drink. He said, no, you take a drink. He got him a scotch or something like that. And they discuss the press. They discuss Victoria's father. And then Eli starts talking about how he was fumbling out there and wasn't in command and didn't act presidential. And Donald was trying to make him feel good and telling him that he did a fine job and he's just new at this. He said, but I got everything under control. Don't you worry and stuff. He said, everything's going to be okay because Hunter has a need. And he's like, he has a need. And he's like, yeah, he has the need for drugs. He has the need for women. And when he doesn't have enough of those, he'll end this. So Eli felt a little better, But then we have Dale calling Alan, asking him when he's coming home because he has something to share with him. But it can't be done over the phone. So Alan's like, so why do you keep freaking calling me if it can't be said over the phone? He said, I'll get home when I get home, basically. So he was trying to hang up. And the next thing you know, Kyle comes in there talking about, don't hang up, don't hang up. And Dale is like, is that Kyle? And he's like, yes, it's me. So he could hear him. And he's like, how does he hear me? But he had him on speaker, like I said. So after those two go back and forth for a bit, Kyle tells Dale he better be at his house when he gets back. And Dale was like, what? And he hung up on him. So Kyle sits down and he's looking at Alan, asking him, what were they talking about? What's going on? And they get into a big old shouting match to the point that Donald has to come in there asking what's going on. And then he sends Kyle out. And then Alan says it's nothing. I can handle him. And he's like, no, you can't handle him. He said, when all of this is done, you're going to tell me what's going on. But the truth is, Kyle is thinking that Alan is messing with Dale. And Donald is thinking that Alan is messing with Kyle. I swear that's what's going on. And Alan's getting pissed because he's straight. He ain't gay. So I'm like, oh, well. So now we have Richard and Priscilla in the kitchen talking. And Priscilla comes up with an idea to talk to Hunter. She feels she can talk him down, that he might listen to her. But of course, Richard thinks it's a bad idea, as he often does about everything that Priscilla suggests, And she says she's just trying to do what they are supposed to do. And he's like, but why are you going there? She's like, that's why we were planted here. We have to look after the White House. And I'm just like, what is wrong with Richard? He never wants to do anything. He's like a little, I hate to say it, punk or something. Priscilla has more balls than he does, I feel sometimes. And she's like, if you don't want to be here, you should just go home. He said, why should I go home? You just found out your son had died or is dead or whatever. You need to be home with your wife, but he don't want to be there with Nancy. So anyway, then she decides that she's going to talk to Eli first to see if Eli give her permission to go up there or something like that to see if she can help out. So now we have Victoria. She shows up at Donald's office. She asks Eli if he's okay. And then Eli decides to go back up to his wife. So now Victoria and Donald are talking. And Donald's like, did you see him freeze up? And she's like, he's not presidential material at all. And he's like, you put him in there. And she's like, I know. I was like, he was a mess. So he tells her that he managed to get Eli's trust. And she said, well, you just better make sure you get everything handled. And he said, I will. And she walks out. So now we see Dale showing up at Miss Nancy's house. And she's like, Sharon's not here. And he said, I know. So right there, he knows that Sharon's not there. And so he said, I really need a place to stay. And so she lets him in. And they sitting down and they're talking. And he's like, are you okay? And she said, I'll be fine. He said, you don't look okay. And she starts telling him that her son is dead and her husband wants a divorce. And she was like, you could stay in his room. And he said, maybe this is a bad idea. I need to leave. She said, no, all I know how to do is take care of somebody. So you stay here. And then she wants to cook for him because that helps, I guess, helps calm her down some kind of way or something. And he's like, no, that's not necessary. But she said, yes, it is necessary. And then she said, oh, you know what? Do you know where Sharon is? And he's saying, no, he doesn't know where Sharon is. She said, well, I need you to call her because she'll want to know about Barry. And she said, you could call Kareem too. And then he must look down or make a face. And she's like, what's that all about? What's the face? And he's like, no, Miss Nancy, I really don't know where they are. But somebody please tell me in the comment section, didn't he know that Sharon got arrested? I thought Dale knew that Sharon was in jail. He might not know where Kareem is because they took him out of the hospital and took him to the White House. But he doesn't know where Sharon is. Am I wrong about that? He should know, I thought. Anywho, so now we have this ending that was the best part of the episode, if you ask me. When we see Max, Bobby, Sam, Victoria, Simone, and Eli all in the Oval, and they're discussing options to getting Hunter out of the White House, I guess. When all of a sudden Priscilla shows up, she knocks on the door, and they let her in. She asks to speak with Eli in private, but he wants her to tell him now with everybody standing there. He's saying we're figuring out what to do right now or something like that. So she shares her idea to help. And honey, Sam is like, nah, you ain't doing that and all this stuff. She said, but he trusts me. And Victoria's like, no, he wants to F you. And she said, well, so? And she's like, so what? And Victoria's like, he always did like a big booty ghetto black chick. She said, I guess that's why he was with you. She said, I ain't never been getting, she's about to say ghetto. And Priscilla's like, shut your mouth, please. Because that's a lie. You ghetto all the way. And Victoria Short is ghetto. So Sam was like, Priscilla, can I talk to you in private? She said, no, and he's like, you are not going up there. And Bobby's like, no, you not. It's dangerous or something like that. And I'm like, what? They all telling her what she gonna do. And Eli's like, let her talk. And 2 times, like, Victoria said something to her and Eli checked Victoria, sort of, kind of, like, I'm talking to Priscilla, like, stop it. He says, stop it right now, whatever's going on. And Simone was like, let's hear what she has to say, So then when she said, I could talk to him because he trusts me, I'm going to go up there. And Sam was like, I'm not going to tell you again. You are not going up there. And she said, so you're not letting me go? And Bobby said, neither am I. I said, what? And so now we got Victoria like, since when do you care about Priscilla like that, And she's like, oh, okay. And Sam is like, you shouldn't be caring about her like that. And it just got real ugly, y'all. It got very ugly to the point that Victoria called her, when they were arguing, she said, she called her big booty ghetto black chick again. And she said, you say it one more time. She said, what you going to do? And Priscilla was ready to pop her one. But Eli was like, look, stop this, all right? Stop it. So Eli was like, what's going on between you two? Are you really doing this right here? And they're like, I'm sick of his shit and all this stuff. They going back and forth. And Max was trying to get Bobby to stop it and telling them to focus. Come on. And he's like, why are you looking at me? Because Bobby, you're the one starting all this mess. Stop. Let it go. So Eli's like, you really think you could get him to come down? She said, I don't know, but at least I could open up the lines of communications. And she said, let's be honest. Nobody was really shooting to kill. They were shooting at people's feet or whatever, she said. So she noticed all of this stuff. And Max said, because nobody in this room wants to be responsible for killing a sitting president. And she said, well, maybe one person would. And she's like, are you referring to me? Victoria said, she said, if the shoe fits, because Victoria is interested in killing Hunter, and we all know it. So Priscilla said, I'm just going to go up there. And Sam was like, you're not. And Bobby was like, you're not doing that, Priscilla. And Sam was like, you keep my wife's name out of your mother effing mouth. And he's like, well, what you going to do? And Sam is like, he's awful. He's effing everybody in the place. And Eli said, hey, watch your mouth. My wife is standing here. And I'm sitting there going, you got your mistress standing there too. So you don't respect your wife. You want somebody else to? But Sam said, I'm not going to show her any more respect than he's showing you. And Eli's like, what's that supposed to mean? And Max is yelling, Sam, he's trying to get them both to stop. Then Bobby says, or you could go back to door what you was doing with the first lady. And Victoria's like, excuse me? And then Sam said, or you could go back and do what you were doing with the first lady. He's like, I ain't never touched Victoria. He said, who say I'm talking about? Victoria. I said, uh-oh, it was out of the bag, baby. Eli stood up and was like, what? He's looking at them back and forth. He said, you want to tell him? You want to tell him that you've been effing his wife? I was like, uh-oh. I was like, whoa. Victoria had a smirk on her face. I was trying to see Priscilla's look on her face. Like, what? But they never showed it. So anyway, her face was just calm. She didn't look like disturbed by it that much. So that's the way it ended. Y'all let me know what y'all think about it down in the comments section. I look forward to hearing what everybody has to say. Please do not forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. It's your girl, Barbie J, saying peace.